Hello, friends. Welcome to Wonderland. We have a Leo new moon pick a card reading for you today. And I gotta say, the messages were very straightforward and to the point. And I think one of the reasons for that is that this Leo new moon is really asking us to step up to the plate in some form, in some shape or form, being the ruler, the king or queen of your own world. Whether that is actually stepping into a leadership role or just holding yourself with discernment and grace. But I do feel like there is this calling and this need to like really step up to the plate and to be a divine ruler, to be a way shower in the world. We got to cut away all the BS. And I think that's why these readings were very straight and to the point. So I've got some moon cards for you to pick from today. Our group 1, our group 2, and our group 3. So I'll give you a moment to decide whichever one jumps out at you. Let me know in the comments which one you chose, with a blue heart for group 1, a yellow heart for group 2, and an orange heart for group 3. Let me know what you think. I hope you have a wonderful, happy new moon, and thank you so much for your support. I hope you're able to be a lazy lion at some point in time this new moon weekend. Hello, group 1. If you chose this card here, then this is your reading for the new moon in Leo for August of 2024. So we will get to this card in a moment. First, we have your tarot cards. 2 of Swords, Crone of Swords, and the 5 of Pentacles. So a lot of sword energy, which symbolizes mental activity, knowledge, wisdom, but this can also represent anxiety as well. And even in the Pentacles card, there are some swords on here. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And before we jump into the reading, I do have to point out that I read this as the Queen of Swords, but it's actually the Crone of Swords in this deck is actually the King of Swords. So I think it can be read both ways, but I think, I think it can be read both ways because they're like the themes of a Leo new moon are about putting on your crown and being the ruler of your own world, honoring the things that you love about yourself, highlighting the things that you're good at, and really having the courage and self-confidence to step up to the plate and like be that version of yourself, that like highest best version of yourself. So I think whether you relate to a being the king of your own world or the queen of your own world, I think that this reading could apply to both and so the first messages that I was receiving with these cards is the refusal to make a decision and owning up to your true power, kind of like diminishing yourself a little bit, downplaying your strengths, downplaying like who you really are. The 2 of Swords is about making a decision. So for some of you, this might be about making a decision and just kind of refusing to make it. And the 5 of Pentacles is, I feel like, 5 of Pentacles is like the being left out in the cold card. But I was really kind of feeling maybe playing the victim. We kind of get stuck in this victim role of, oh, poor me, why does nothing work out for me? And when we get stuck in that negative cycle, it's really difficult to come out of, because if all of your thoughts are negative and you're thinking, "Oh, poor me. Why does this always happen to me?" Then there's just going to be more things that you're attracting that will put you into that situation. So this new moon is about setting intentions for you about pulling out of that victim mentality, pulling out of the lack mentality, the poverty consciousness mentality, and putting your crown back on and being the king or queen of your own world, which is exactly perfect for a Leo new moon. I also, when I first saw this Two of Swords, I thought of Hathor, but I do think that this is Isis because I think Isis is the mother and child image, I believe. But I'm not sure, and I even checked the guidebook. It didn't have anything to say about the statue there, but that just feels very like matriarchal, divine feminine. That's probably why I was feeling the Queen of Swords for this card too. Um, so anyways, your messages here are: if you have been too much in your head or too much in your heart, find a way to bridge the gap between these two things. The time for wallowing in our feelings is over. That was Cancer season. This is Leo season. Dry your eyes, put your crown back on, and be the king or queen that you were meant to be. The Queen of Swords got where she is by overcoming and using the lessons that she's learned and the knowledge from her past wisely. So that's like when I got the original message, I was thinking that this was the Queen of Swords. And we have two color goddesses for you. We've got Indigo, Discovery, Intuition, Perception, and Emerald, Fortune, Luck, and Luxury. I really feel, I really love these two colors together. And I thought it was really interesting that like the initial message is about bridging the heart and the mind. And we have the green heart chakra, and then we have the indigo third eye color. So I thought that was really even more confirming of figuring out how to bridge these two things. And I mean, the Two of Wands with these two pillars here, like bridging the light and the dark. There is this dualistic nature to this reading, and finding that middle ground, finding that I kind of see you like balancing these and being the queen in the middle, being able to bridge your heart and mind and be grounded and centered in the middle. So again, connecting the heart and mind, this new moon asks you to set intentions around taking the time to gain clarity between your heart and your mind and making decisions from a centered place. Be the bridge between the two. And your moon card is the Moonflower. Take risks. This queen also kind of has like pirate energy here, and I think of like a pirate wheel whenever I pull this card of this, or not a pirate wheel, a ship wheel or a compass, and I don't know, I could see this lady standing at the helm of a ship here. So, do you have the courage to spin the wheel of life and see what comes up? Playing it safe will not serve your current situation. No one is saying that you should take a massive risk and gamble everything away, but nor should you refuse to make your move. It could be time for you to adopt a more positive mental attitude and see your glass half full. A regular gratitude practice will help. For example, every Friday night, try doing your practice with friends or family for a few weeks. Adventure is calling you somehow, and this card has come up because your higher self wants you to look further into it. As Marie Williamson famously wrote, your playing small does not serve the world. It's time for you to take a risk and show the world who you really are and how you really feel. If your self esteem is hampering you, this card is a sign to work on it for real. The wheel is still spinning when you get this card. Take a chance. So, I did not read this message before recording this. And that's exactly what I said at the beginning. Did I write that down? No, I didn't write it down, but that's what I said at the beginning of this video of like you're playing too small. It's time to like step into your power and be the queen that you were meant to be. And that is literally word for word what this card says. And I didn't I turned to the page and then I marked it with a bookmark so that I could pull it up when I was recording this. So I did not read that before. That's so crazy that it's this literally the same exact message. So these were very, very quick and to the point messages. I'm feeling like maybe I should just close out this with pulling a chakra card. Because I know a lot of times with these pick a cards, I end up pulling from so many decks, but this reading was just very straightforward. And I think that this is a very similar message to what I've been getting like collectively for the month of August as well, is to like it's time for us to really step up to the plate. Do you want to be a good king or a bad king? And even if you don't feel like you're in a leadership role, is this card for this reading? No, okay, it just popped out. Even if you don't feel like you're in a leadership role, you probably are in some shape or form in your life. And even if you feel like you don't like, because if you're a parent or if you have friends and you're the friend that's always like kind of taking charge, making plans or whatever, then you're in a leadership role, even if you don't feel like you are. And even if you're alone, if you are a hermit and you hide out in your house by yourself, you are still the leader of you, of who you are. You are the person to take charge. And you can even think of like you rule every cell in your body. So it's up to you to decide what you are putting into your body and how you're treating your body. Like every cell in your body are like your people, your peasants. And do you want to choose to hydrate your cells, or do you want to choose to like feed them toxic crap that we can buy at the grocery store? You are a leader of you, even if you don't feel like you're in a leadership role in your world. Okay, can we have a card? Maybe I didn't need a chakra card. Okay, higher consciousness. At any given moment, the consciousness of your highest self is available to you and speaks through you. When presented with an opportunity to express your thoughts, ask yourself this question: what would my higher self say? Give it a voice and let it make its divine presence known using your words. Your highest self is the lightest, easiest, most fluid form of your true nature. Be intentional about cultivating your relationship with this essence. So this is a throat chakra card. The crystal they recommend is celestite, which I happen to have sitting right here. And the herb is lemongrass. So if you want to connect to the energy of this card, definitely check out some of those crystals. I have a Let's Get Stoned video on YouTube of celestite as well. We did a deep dive on that gemstone. So there definitely seems a need to connect to your higher self as well. So maybe setting intentions around doing a meditation every day or before you go to bed at night, trying to connect to your higher self and doing that before you're making any decision. So you're making one from a grounded and centered and like a supporting your highest good place. So that's all I have for you, Group One. Be the king or queen of your own world. It's time for you to step into your power, and even if you're not a Leo, even if you're not in a leadership role, we all have Leo in us somewhere because we have all 12 signs within us. So maybe exploring where Leo is in your chart, or exploring the house where your sun is, because your sun is like your ruler, and that is where you will find that you tend to step up to the plate. For example, my sun is in the sixth house of service. So I need to be of service to others in order to feel like my highest and best self. So hopefully that will help you out on this Leo new moon. Some lots of things for you to explore. And I hope that you're able to step into your power, because I cannot wait to see what you bring to this wonderful community. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see you on the other side of the looking glass again sometime soon. Hello, group two. If you chose this beautiful moon card here, then this is your reading for the new moon in Leo for August of 2024. So we will get to this card in a moment. Let's start with your tarot cards. Here are the Seven of Wands. I love that we've got some tigers on there, or a tiger and a leopard. We have the Two of Swords and the Void, which is aka the Fool. So this group has their defenses up a little bit with the Seven of Wands here. And I feel like for some of you, you're kind of coming in really hot. Maybe you've been feeling very frustrated or just very heated. I mean, it is the middle of summer, it's hot out there, and tension can be a little bit high. So the message I was getting for you is that, like, you having your defenses up is preventing you from getting a clear view of the situation. Sometimes we have to cleanse and clear and come from a space of emptiness before we can move forward. So that's why this Fool is at the end. The Fool is about like jumping into something new. And but this being depicted as the void here, it's you have to be empty and clear and level-headed in order to start asking for things, start manifesting, start calling things in. Because right now it's almost like there's just too much going on. There's too many emotions, there's too much tension, there's too much conflict. Like things to like we need to weed out some things to be able to be grounded and centered and make a conscious decision about something. So for you guys, I think it's going to be really good to do some things that kind of cool you down a bit, whether that's like physically cooling yourself down, or um, like unloading, offloading some frustration or anger, and allowing allowing things to sizzle and settle a little bit. Our color goddesses that we have here are Ivory and White. I thought it was so funny that that these two came out together. So Ivory is charm, finesse, and poise. And what this was telling me is that, like, if there is some sort of heated situation going on, you're being asked to take the higher road, be the bigger person, and handle the situation with grace and poise, as this card says. And then the white is angels, purity, and radiance. So the white card was saying to me that, like, well, first of all, you can call on your angels to help. Maybe you can call on like Archangel Michael for him to like cut the cords to this situation so that you're able to kind of like look at it from a higher perspective. Or you can just ask your angels and spirit guides for guidance to help solve this situation, or to just help ask them to help you deal with whatever this like heated situation is, or what these heated emotions is, to help you kind of like weed through those emotions and get down to like the root of things. So I thought it was so interesting that we have these two very neutral colors from our color goddesses so that you're able to be the two of swords here and stand in the middle and on neutral ground. So our moon card is the moon's reflection, accept responsibility. As you move along the spiritual path, it becomes more and more important to accept responsibility for your own actions. The situation you find yourself in now is a reflection of either your current beliefs or your past behaviors. This card isn't meant to make you feel discouraged or guilty. Rather, it's meant to encourage you to ask, why did I create this situation? What about this situation is helping me? Once you find the courage to answer these questions, you'll start to see how you have more power than you knew. We're all creating our lives 24/7. And while you may not like the idea that everything happens for a reason, it really is possible to find a reason for nearly everything that happens. Try to see your current dilemma with that perspective. It'll show you why it's happening for you. If someone is bothering you now, realize that they're mirroring you. Realize that your inner life is reflected in your outer life, and you're on the way to self mastery. So I feel like this group is getting called out a little bit, and I can like relate to this. Like there have been plenty of times where I've looked at difficult situations and had to remind myself, I know that I manifested this situation. I know that I created this situation. And that's usually because when we get heated or emotional, we're acting out of places of fear and anger and negativity. And then we're just attracting negativity into our lives. I know that feeling, that it's a horrible feeling, and it's hard to like own up and accept responsibility for it. But that does seem to be what you're being asked for now, so that you're coming from a place of neutrality and emptiness instead of a place of anger, resentment, whatever, insert negative emotion here, whatever applies to your situation. And I feel you. I feel you. I do. I look at even my current situation and I'm like, wow, I manifested this. Like I know I did, because I had all of that self-doubt and I had the low self-esteem and I didn't think that I was worthy or whatever. And we have to take responsibility for those things. It's difficult. It's hard to, but now is the time to do it. This is why you're being called out. This is why you're hearing this message and you felt drawn to this card, because once you accept it, take ownership of it, now you can move on from a place of neutrality and emptiness. And that's exactly what we want with new moons. To the we want to we have to start off at the dark moon. We have to start out at that emptiness, and then we can start calling things in. So you can ask your guides and angels to help you with acceptance. Oh my gosh, I think this is the same card from the last group. I've been pulling chakra cards for each reading because we didn't get that many cards today. And I think this is the same one. So higher consciousness. At any given moment, the consciousness of your highest self is available to you and speaks through you. When presented with an opportunity to express your thoughts, ask yourself this question: what would my higher self say? Give it a voice and let it make its divine presence known using yours. Your highest self is the lightest, easiest, and most fluid form of your true nature. Be intentional about cultivating your relationship with this essence. So this is a throat chakra card. The crystal they recommend is celestite, which, as I told the last group, we actually have it sitting right here. And the herb is lemongrass to connect to this energy. So I guess we're all being asked to connect to our higher self, to take the higher road and try to be the highest and best version of ourselves. That's what the Leo moon wants us to do. Leo, we want to be a good ruler. We want to be a good king, or we want to be a good queen. And even if you don't feel like you are in some sort of leadership role, you're in the leadership role of yourself. You're in charge of you. Cancer season taught us to mother ourselves. Leo season is going to teach us how to be the our divine self, our highest and best self, and to hold yourself with poise and charm and finesse, and to act from a place of purity and to radiate that out into the world. So ask yourself, do you want to be a good queen or a bad queen? And do you want to be a queen that uplifts and encourages the community, that is creating a place, a kingdom that is sustainable and self-sufficient? Or do you want to be like the Queen of Hearts, who's off in everybody's head because she's so hot and heated? And if she doesn't like something, she just cuts their head off. So do you want to be the Queen of Hearts, or do you want to be the queen of you? So very quick and straight to the point messages today. I hope that you have a wonderful, happy new moon, and I can't wait to see you on the other side of the looking glass again sometime soon. Thank you so much. Hello, group 3. If you chose this beautiful card here, then this is your new moon reading for the new moon in Leo for August of 2024. We will get to this card in a moment, but we are going to start with your tarot cards. We have the Crone of Pentacles, aka the King of Pentacles. We have the Three of Swords. And Balance, aka Justice. So with the Three of Swords in the center here, gives me the sense that like we are suppressing this pain, kind of hiding it and diminishing it, covering it up with this confident King of Pentacles who has all his ducks in a row and is in charge of everything and handling everything. And I think maybe even you have found maybe some peace or justice or balance with whatever caused this pain, but we're hiding it. You've been suppressing it, avoiding it instead of allowing yourself to feel it. So it feels like there's something painful that you're avoiding looking at. Yes, you're the king, and maybe you've managed to find some justice or balance, but that thorn is still there. So I was getting like this visualization of like a paw with a thorn stuck in it. And it's almost like it's kind of like healed over. I think that you've done a good job hiding it, but eventually that thorn is going to fester. Maybe you think that it's going to hurt worse by pulling it out, and that might be true, but it's only temporary, and it's not fair to you. Nobody's benefiting from by you avoiding or hiding your suffering. And this might be like something very, very old, like something old, and that's why it's like healed over, but like it's still there. It's still there and it needs to be drawn out. Our color goddesses are Amber, Ancestry, Healing the Past, and History. So I don't know if this is like a current, like something that is hurting from your current lifetime, or this could be because we have the ancestry and history. Like this could be something like family trauma. You might be the like curse breaker that's healing these really old wounds that have been in your ancestry for a while. Or it's just, part of your ancient history, and that's why it's got this big scar over it. And there's just like, but it still bothers you. It's still like nagging you. And then we have Lavender, compassion, empathy, and sensitivity. So like I'm kind of getting the sense that like you feel like you're not allowed to feel it. Like you're not allowed to hurt anymore, or like maybe you're beating yourself up because you're just like, why can't I get over this? Like I should be healed from this by now. Why does this still bother me? And you need to come at this hurt and this pain with compassion and empathy and sensitivity, because you you have a right to be hurt by the things that hurt you. You have a right to like feel that pain. And we have to feel it to heal it. Have compassion for yourself and the situation. You are allowed to feel pain. Feel it to heal it. And our moon card here is Moonstruck. Take a breath. I'm also struck by like these tears that the eye is crying. Kind of look like drops of amber. The word moonstruck sounds dreamy and gorgeous, but in fact, it means someone who's gone a little crazy. Drawing this card means that you may be becoming obsessive or just going too far with regards to whatever situation you're asking about. It's like someone who says they're madly in love. Madly? Is that really a good idea? This card comes with a message to get your feet back on the ground. If you've been a little bit hysterical or histrionic, it's time to pare that back as well. Take a couple deep breaths. Try to get your situation into perspective. There's nothing to be gained by allowing yourself to be completely and utterly overwhelmed by your emotions. Think of the cycles of the moon. The moon takes a full fortnight to move from new to full. She grows a little in size every day, and she swells to her beautiful full self. So when you draw this card, you too need to allow things to progress at a more appropriate pace. So I really do think that this is like a very deep wound that is coming up for you now, and it's like it's too painful to look at. So like this card is suggesting it's okay to like take a little bit at a time. Like setting an intention for this new moon to start chiseling that down. You might actually just take a little piece of it every new moon for the next year. I can't tell you how many intentions that I've set years ago that I'm only just now seeing them come to fruition and seeing them like, oh wow, I remember setting that intention on the new moon years ago, because not everything can be tackled all at once. Not everything it might, I feel like the reason you've been avoiding this for so long is that it just even hurts to look at. So you just got to like slowly chisel away at things and give yourself the time and space that you need to heal it. But avoiding it is not helping you. I think it's really holding you back, and that's why you're being shown this message now. And that's because the themes of the Leo new moon are about being the ruler of your own world. And if you are noticing that like this is kind of festering and holding you back, it's your responsibility to take charge and do something about it, because you are the queen of your own world. You're the king of your own world. You are the ruler of your own world. And nobody's going to tell you like, "Hey, maybe you should go to therapy about this. Maybe you should do some journaling about this." Nobody's going to say that to you. It's your, well, I'm going to say that to you. But it's your responsibility to actually do it and take initiative and to help yourself out. So I've also been pulling chakra cards while we're here, because these messages were just very straightforward today. And normally we have like so many other cards, and I was just feeling like I feel like we need more cards. So let's get a chakra card to close out this reading. Divine Wisdom. You radiate with divine wisdom. You are a teacher to many, especially by your lived example of beauty and grace. Trust your insight and the messages your guides are sending you. By trusting your wisdom, you avoid sabotage and fear-based decisions. Allow your mind to relax and welcome a new level of consciousness Make note of the visions and information you receive and use them to faithfully pursue the path of your highest calling. This is a crown chakra card. The crystal they recommend is scapulate and the herb is lavender. So the message I get with this is like you are the King of Pentacles. Like I see you, like whether you're like the matriarch or patriarch of your family, or whether you are a teacher of some sort of leader in some sort of leadership role. I think when people are in leadership roles, they oftentimes think that they can't take the time to heal their own wounds because they're so worried about caring for everybody else and making sure everybody else is taken care of. So you feel like you don't even have the time to tackle the things that you need to do for your own inner work. And I think the reason that you are a leader and a teacher to many is because you've done the work in the past. So now it's time to do a little bit more inner work so that you can continue to be the teacher, be the way shower in a way. Otherwise, you're going to start falling into the sabotage and fear-based decisions. So group 3, your new moon intention should be set around tackling this pain that's been bothering you for a while, at least chunk by chunk, little by little, piece by piece, so that you're able to find that balance again. Thank you so much, group 3. I hope you have a happy new moon. Allow yourself some grace and compassion. Take it easy. Allow for that emptiness. Allow for those tears to flow. And remember, you have to feel it to heal it. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you on the other side of the looking glass again sometime soon.